Hi, my name is Steve Reed, and God gave me a completely clean slate for my entire life. Before I knew Jesus, my parents tried to teach me about God, and they tried to take me to church when I was little, but I just wasn't interested in it, and I didn't understand it. And in fact, it just caused me more fear than comfort. And so even as a little child, we quit going to church when I was little, and I had no interest in going back. God probably didn't exist, and I started calling myself an atheist. This buddy of mine, Mark, we did everything together, Mark and I. And Mark and I were atheists, both of us. And we joined an atheist organization at OSU when we were in college. They needed officers to be an official student organization. And Mark's kind of a timid guy. He didn't want to volunteer, but I was like, I don't care. I'll be an officer in the group. They said, what officer do you want to be, president? And I said, no, don't make me president. I don't want to be president of the Atheist Club. Make me chaplain of the Atheist Club. I was officially listed as the chaplain of the atheist group. Me and my buddy, Mark, we were atheists. And so we would meet once a month or however often we decided to go. And we would talk about unbelief, which is actually kind of boring. And honestly, a lot of the meetings were about how dumb it is to be a Christian. Mark calls me up out of the blue. This is some 10 years later. Mark calls me up and he says, look, I got something to tell you. Let's go to dinner. He tells me he's a Christian. He's become a Christian. Here's an atheist guy. He's become a Christian. He says to me, Steve, I had a dream. And in the dream, I dreamed that you died. And I didn't tell you about Jesus. And I was really, feeling bad that I didn't tell you because I want you to know, I want to, when I go to heaven, I want to see you there. But I told him, look, Mark, I appreciate you. I shook his hand. We had a nice dinner and then we parted ways. Less than a week later, I got seriously ill with a thing called spinal meningitis, which gives you a massive headache. All I could do was lie there in bed and try to get better. And so I had myself and my thoughts for about a week. And one of those nights, I had a dream. And in the dream, I felt like I was driving, right? And in the trunk, there's a bunch of like terrible smelling, dead animals in my trunk. And so I opened up the trunk and it smelled bad. And I took a shovel and I started shoveling it out. There's no shoveling it out. It kept falling off the shovel. This is an impossible thing. You can't get that out of your trunk. You're never going to get that out of your trunk, And I woke up and I realized that those dead animals, that's my sin. And that car, that's my heart. My heart's full of a lifetime of sin that I can't undo. There's nothing I can do. It's done now. I knew I had to do something. And I thought, well, should I pray to the God of Buddhism? Or should I pray to the God of Hinduism? I don't know. I need forgiveness. And I thought about what Mark had said to me just less than a week earlier. He said, Jesus is the one you need to talk to because Jesus is the only one who gives you a clean slate. He's the only one that can offer you grace. Nobody else offers you grace. There's nothing you have to do. It's a free gift. All you have to do is trust in that free gift and talk to Jesus about it. He taught me the sinner's prayer. And when I said that sinner's prayer, I admitted my sin. I said, look, I've sinned all my life. I've sinned, and I confess it all. And I'm sorry. And I give myself to Jesus. I want to follow you, Jesus, because you don't have any sin. I want to follow you. And at that moment, that's the moment when I felt like arms around me, and I heard like a voice say to me, I forgive you. You're my son, and I love you. And I felt like he was just waiting for me to say that prayer, the sinner's prayer. And like he was just hovering, just waiting for me to confess my sin and ask him to forgive me. And he so wanted to forgive me. He just rushed to me right away. And I'll never forget it. And I had to give my life to him. I was free, all of the worries and the fears that I had for my whole life, being afraid of God. I wasn't afraid of God anymore. It felt great. It felt like a clean slate.